Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
It's been a heavy week, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, maybe we could, if you want, we could start with like an animal video or something, kind of lighten the mood. Heavy. What are you laughing? Why is that funny? I thought that was a reasonable suggestion.
Did you? Did you think so?
I did. It's been a really dark week.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we
And you
throw
thought
an
an
animal video
animal
up front.
video would
right
really-
out of the gate. What do you say?
I say no. But I could tell you about a brush with greatness I had last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, do tell. What's
We're having
up?
dinner at a Mexican restaurant in Trophy Club, Texas.
Okay.
And so it's me, my wife, all three of my sons, and my son Sean's wife. And my sister and her husband.
Okay.
And so my daughter-in-law, my son's wife, starts saying, look at this picture. Isn't that her? And she's got a picture of Gail, the singer Gail.
Okay.
Do you remember that song? It was, oh, man.
Singer Gail.
It was called ABCDEFU.
Oh, yes.
This is the clean version. Forget you. That's not what she actually says. Okay, so a really catchy song. And anyway, she's showing us the picture of her and then telling us to look at the girl who's sitting in a booth just a few feet away. And we're like, wow, that looks like her. But that can't be her. She wouldn't just be
That's her?
here at a Mexican restaurant.
Gail, the singer Gail?
That's her. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
How cool.
I said, if that's not her, she's got a twin that looks just like her.
Okay.
So my daughter-in-law gets up and walks over to her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. I'm like, okay, somebody please hide me. I'm going to crawl under the table right now because this is really, really embarrassing.
Okay.
She was as nice as can be, though. It was her. She got up and took a selfie with my daughter-in-law.
So she didn't say, forget you.
No, she didn't.
She smiled and took a picture.
No, she smiled, got up.
Is she from
took a picture
around
with
here?
her. I guess she's from Plano, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So that was kind of fun.
That is cool.
Against all my better judgment and knowing better, I love that song. It's so catchy. Is it not?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic song.
It sure is.
She says the F word, I don't know how many times in it, but quite a few. And
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's
and she
art,
did what
Pat.
she had to do.
It's art.
Yeah. I looked up some of her work. She's done some other songs that also seem to feature the word.
Not as catchy,
and
though?
others, maybe not quite as catchy. But that was kind of interesting.
That's cool, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's even better when you run into a celebrity and they're cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than running into a celebrity and they're a-holes. That's just not good. So, that's what would happen if you ever ran into the president of the United States. You just find that he's the a-hole you really think he is. And that would not be fun.
No, you don't want me running into that cat.
No. No. I mean, yesterday was so unbelievable to me when he started out discussing, maybe it was the day before yesterday, started out discussing the shooting with jokes about ice cream. I mean, how inappropriate is that? And what kind of moron does that? Leader of the free world. And he's got this really somber, tragic shooting to talk about. And he starts by laughing and joking with the crowd, with the press,
and he didn't
about ice cream.
Yeah, and he didn't get better later in the day. If you recall, when he was outside,
joked about Josh Hawley.
Yeah. Oh, if he's for it, I must be against it or something. I don't know.
Yes, right. And he laughed about it, joking. Yeah, that's the problem, moron. That is the problem. And the fact that we can't even agree to condemn the targeting of Christian children in a school. Geez, I mean, unbelievable. On the Coven yesterday, Whoopi reacted to Josh Hawley and his request for for people to condemn the Nashville shooting.
Call it a hate crime, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah. So check this out.
Today, I will introduce a resolution explicitly condemning this massacre as the hate crime that it is, and calling upon this body to condemn hateful rhetoric that leads to violence.
Okay, I mean, look, some people are using this as an excuse to demonize the transgender community. I mean, crazy stuff. So is this once again, are we just,
how do you get that?
Weeing in the wind?
How do you get from point A to point B with that? I don't understand that segue at all from her.
Because your butt's stupid. Only butt stupidity gets you from what Josh Hawley was talking about to what she was talking about.
Okay.
My gosh. Okay. No, we should be condemning guns instead every single time.
That's what they do.
That's exactly what they do every single time. Don't even think about the shooter unless you think they might have ties to the right. Then, of course, you can condemn the shooter.
No kidding.
Okay? But you got to go after the gun first. And then, hopefully, if the shooter's a MAGA Republican, you can go after the shooter as well. These people are pathetic and despicable. Absolutely despicable. And, of course, the gun nonsense is in full swing. Yesterday, guns were the talk on Capitol Hill. Democrat Jared Moskowitz and Marjorie Taylor Greene had a little talk about guns inside schools.
Have a hearing on murder in schools. It's murder. Is there any question? I'll yield to anyone on this committee who disagrees that murder in schools is not murder. I yield.
Will you yield?
Oh, I'll yield. Yes, please.
Yeah, when I was in 11th grade and Joe Biden made our schools gun-free school zones, one of the students in my school brought 3 guns to school, and our entire school went on lockdown because he was the only person with a gun. There was no good guy with a gun to protect us kids at school. You want to know why the shooter is dead in Nashville, the trans shooter? You want to know why? Because a good guy with a gun killed that woman. She identified as a man. She was mentally ill, probably taking hormones, and she went in and murdered children and adults in this Christian school in Nashville. So if you want to have a good talk about schools and protecting children, we need to talk about protecting our children the same way we protect our president, we protect our celebrities, we protect
reclaiming
this
my
building.
time.
Okay, I'll yield.
Wow. Yeah, so I don't like what you're saying, so I reclaim my time.
Yeah.
Just to shut you up. You're making too much sense. We can't have that in this building. And so I reclaim my time.
Right. So that was very, very tame compared to what happened out in the hallway because Jamal Bowman, the Democrat congressman, so he stormed out of, I don't know if it was that hearing or something else, but anyway, he was not happy about the direction Republicans are trying to go. And so Thomas Massie stepped out in the hall. Thomas Massie is going to introduce legislation next week. I think it's going to, I think it's going to just allow for guns in schools, but many states allow that. And in fact, what he's trying to tell Bowman here is that any school that has like armed guards like inside the building or something like that, like there's never been a school shooting or where you have teachers that are armed. I think that's what it is. Anyhow, so he's trying to have a conversation with Bowman, who is just unhinged. This guy. Ugh, this is ridiculous.
Cowards! Pressure them! Force them to respond to the question, why the hell won't you do anything to save America's children? And let them explain that all the way up until Election Day on 2024. Let them explain it all the way up to Election Day on 2024. They're freaking cowards. They're gutless. They're not here. I'm talking about gun violence.
You know, there's never been
I'm talking about gun violence.
in a school that allows teachers to carry.
Teachers carry.
More guns lead to more death. More guns lead to more death. Look at the data. You're not looking at any data. You're carrying the water for the gun lobby. Look at the data. More guns lead to more deaths. States that have open carry laws have more death.
In every school
States that have open carry
More guns mean more of their minds.
Harvard teachers. Have you ever worked in a school?
Have you ever worked in a school? Because he used to be a principal. So now he can't debate because he's never worked in a school.
Have you ever worked in a school? It's a yes or no question. Have you ever worked in a school?
What does that have to do with anything?
Don't stop and talk to me. Okay, I'll bring it down a notch.
All right, folks.
Have you ever worked in a school?
I've got a bill to repeal.
I worked in the school for 20 years.
You're just screaming.
I was I was screaming before you came and interrupted me. I worked in the school for 20 years.
Who cares?
I worked in the school 20 years.
In every school,
I was a teacher. I was a student counselor. I was a middle school principal. I was in cafeterias protecting kids every day of my career.
There's never been a shooting.
This is America.
The worst.
We've got guns here to protect us.
Yeah, we got guns here protecting us.
I believe the kids should have somebody to protect them.
Right.
Every school that's
A hell of a
allowed
point.
has never had a shooting. Not even an accidental discharge at any of the schools. So.
Amazing.
So he's trying to say, yeah, wherever teachers are armed, there are no school shootings. And we have armed guards here protecting us. We can't do that for kids?
Right. How many accidental shootings have they had at the Capitol building?
And Yelly McYellface there.
Geez,
I mean, this is...
what a loser.
You are an elected representative. Act like it.
Yeah. No. We've just devolved into a banana republic. That's despicable. And because you worked at a school, you're the expert now on school shootings? How many school shootings did you have at your school while you were there? How many?
Oh, man. It's like, okay, I attended a school.
Yeah.
Doesn't
right.
I mean, every day I went. Am I qualified now to rebut your argument, bro?
Mm-hmm. I went through 12 years of schooling. Never had a shooting. So
I got you beat, though.
Yeah. You actually went to college.
13 years in a public school.
Okay.
You see.
Yeah.
And then went to college.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I can.
Yeah.
There's just this guy.
Crazy.
This Bowman. He's going to.
Out of their minds.
This is going to get even more insane next week when they start introducing bills.
And speaking of Thomas Massey, let's go back 3 years this week.
I thought this was fun.
When Thomas Massey was the only voice in Congress standing against the massive COVID relief bill.
Why wouldn't they give you a time on the floor, sir? Congressman, both sides of the chamber didn't see to let you.
Right side of history. One man.
Well, they didn't even give me a minute to speak in a 4-hour debate. There's a big cover-up in there.
It's a cover-up, sir.
Well, they're trying to cover up their votes. They had enough people there to pass the bill, but they still refused to have a recorded vote. And they told me they were trying to protect members.
Don't you believe that that's the case? There's 435 members in a room that can't hold that many.
No. They're trying to protect the members who are there from political ramifications.
Sir, both sides of the chamber, your side as well as the Democrats, as well as the White House, have said that they didn't want you to do this. Why press forward into a bill that everybody agrees should be passed?
Like I said in there, I came here this week to make sure our republic doesn't die in an empty chamber by unanimous consent. These people need to do their jobs. If they're telling people to drive a truck, if they're telling people to bag groceries and grow their food, then by golly, they can be in there and they can vote. And that's what we did this week. They came, and you can see it didn't delay the vote any. They sat on their cans yesterday here. They didn't do a thing yesterday. They were trying to say this would delay it to have a recorded vote. The truth, if you're willing to report it, is they don't want a recorded vote. They don't want to be on record of making the biggest mistake in history.
What's your response to Donald Trump calling you a third-rate grandstander?
Trump called you
at least second-rate.
Third-rate grandstander.
Congressman Massey, nicely done. Who was it that told you that they were protecting their members?
No respect.
Who told you they were protecting their members, sir?
Who was it that I was right above you guys.
Pelosi and McCarthy, when I was right there with them.
You believe this is the best method to do this, sir, is to force everybody to come back?
Jeez.
Come on, I gave you an interview.
That's great that they're doing the bidding of the Democrat Party.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump, too, at the same time. Everybody. It was the world versus Thomas Massey 3 years ago this week. And
wow.
He was the one individual on the right side of history.
Voice in the wilderness, speaking out. And that's not easy. It's not easy to be the voice in the wilderness.
And he does it with a smile on his face.
Yeah, he's great.
Like that
He's really
shouting
good.
match. It's not a shouting match. It was just a one-way street there with Bowman. I mean, he's a happy warrior, you know?
Yeah.
He could have shouted back. You know, we've been totally in his right. But he made his point, tried to make his point over the shouting. But that's the state of our nation right now.
That's
It's
it.
Just
That's it. Fun, isn't it?
it's
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is Biden not well right now?
Yeah, he's a
little under the weather.
Yeah. So it starts with this. He's about to get introduced at some event at the White House yesterday, and just watch him there. Hold on. Play the clip, please. Play the clip.
And it is
some point today. I mean, he literally.
Mr. President.
Do that again. Play it again. I mean, I mean, this is rough. I mean, that is
Mr. President.
Al Sharpton moment on TV.
Mr. President.
Okay, all right. So then later he's at an event, and he's even doing worse than he was there. Watch this. Oh, listen to his voice, man. Admit it. You have COVID. Just admit it, bro.
Leon.
Can you scoot up?
Wait for the cue.
Listen to his voice, man.
Shall I begin? Hello, everyone. Let me start by apologizing for the slight cold I have.
Slight cold.
That's the only thing that's happening to me these days.
Okay.
All right.
That's the only thing. Otherwise, he's healthy as a horse.
I predict the next thing you're going to have is he's going to disappear for quite a while, because the longer they can keep him out of sight, the better it is.
That's for sure.
And so now they've got a built-in excuse because he's obviously sick.
A little under the weather, and so we're just going to have him stay home for a few days, and he's under a doctor's care. We're just watching. He's fine, other than, his voice is hoarse, and he's got a little bit of a cough.
Okay, but it's been a week now. When are we going to see the president again? You can't be too careful.
I wonder if they tested him for COVID. I mean, the guy's been all over the place. It's probably prudent to do a little testing there, see if he's spreading that around. He's also aiming to lift democracies. You saw he was at the Summit for Democracy there. With more funds, despite questions over effectiveness. He's going to announce new funding to bolster democracies around the world. Amid criticism, his administration has made little progress in advancing human rights and democracy as a focus of its foreign policy. He will announce a $690 million program to fight corruption, support free and fair elections, and advance technologies that support democratic governments at a second White House-led Summit for Democracy, according to senior officials.
Isn't that ironic?
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff there. We're going to support free and fair elections around the world.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Can we try that at home, perhaps?
Wouldn't that be nice? He announced over $400 million for similar programs in 2021 when the event was last held. So
why do we spend our tax dollars on other countries' elections? Particularly when we obviously can't get our own, right?
We shouldn't be spending our tax dollars on other people's anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Jeez. It's like if you're running a deficit in your house, you're not looking for other ways to spend money.
Yeah. Except we are continually looking for new ways to spend money we just don't have. Well, they're doing their best to bankrupt us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So are they going to go to these other countries and say, hey, look, even when you don't have the votes, here's how you do it? I mean, is that...
This will make it look like you got the most votes in the history of the world.
Now, one of the things we've learned is you don't want big white trucks pulling up to big voting centers in the middle of the night.
Yeah. That looks suspicious.
Raises a flag.
Now, you can call everybody who says anything about it a conspiracy theorist and, beat them into submission. Mm-hmm. And you can also take them off Twitter. We'll just call Twitter for you and tell them to, cancel their account.
Right.
Suspend their account.
And the other thing is on early voting stuff, make sure that you know where the cameras are. If they're in close proximity to the boxes. By the way, speaking of election integrity, later on we've got a video of James O'Keefe and his new O'Keefe Media Group, OMG, has got a new operation with some interesting stuff going on how our election cycles are funded.
Man, he got right to work on that situation, didn't he? Because he just got kicked out of his Project Veritas, and now he's got this up and running, and they've already got videos out. That's really cool. Good for him. Also, everything is more expensive under Joe Biden. Even the cost of launching rockets into space has gone up. Sounds like another Putin price hike, of course. I think that's what it is.
Putin is affecting the rocket launch market?
Yeah, he sure is. It's a tight launch market coupled with high inflation, and it's driven up launch prices in the last year, putting a squeeze on customers. At the recent Satellite 2023 conference, industry officials said they saw evidence of growing prices in the last year. Thank you, Vladimir Putin.
Thank you. Right.
Growing demand, along with a constrained near-term supply that some have dubbed a global shortage, is a factor, they say, along with inflation that's remained historically high for more than a year. Yay! Again, thank you, Vladimir Putin, for the Putin price hike. It's perfect. Prices of individual commercial launch orders have traditionally not disclosed a practice, have not been disclosed. And that's a practice that continues today. SpaceX doesn't publish the list or list their prices for its Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launches, which the company raised by 8% a year ago because of what it said was inflation. Prices, of course, can vary depending on what you're sending into space. At the same time, it raised its dedicated launch prices. SpaceX has also increased their prices.
Oh, no.
Yeah, of their rideshare launch services by
what?
10%.
No.
Yeah.
I've been saving up for that.
From $1 million.
Yeah, I have that.
For a 200-kilogram satellite. I don't know if that's, is that 3 ounces? Is it 4 million pounds? I don't know. There's no way to tell. But it went from $1 million to $1.1 million. It doesn't sound like a really, well, that's a 10% increase, obviously. Earlier this year, the company appeared to hike prices again, according to a tool on its website for finding and booking rides. The cost of a 200-kilogram satellite was now $1.3 million with the earliest flight opportunity, second quarter of 2025.
So I've got to save up even more?
Yeah. Yeah, $1.3 million.
I thought I was ready to buy the ticket.
Apparently not.
And now I'm short again? Come on.
Short. But you have until 2025 because they can't launch it till then anyway.
Yeah, but I got to buy eggs before then.
Yeah, well, forget it then. If you have to buy eggs between now and 2025, you're not going to launch it.
You're not going to space, bro.
Nope.
Sorry.
That rideshare program is out of reach for you now.
Oh, darn.
Dang it. Yeah, that's too bad.
Hey, so you're talking about space. For some reason, this came to mind here. April 8th, 2024. Mark your calendars. It's going to be a total eclipse of the heart right here over Dallas-Fort Worth. So it's going to come down like basically Maine, Ohio, Missouri.
A total eclipse of the sun or the moon?
Of the sun. It's going to
Really?
be dark in the middle of the day.
A total eclipse of the sun?
A year from now, April 8th. Yeah.
Huh. Turn around, bright eyes. How about that?
Isn't that good?
Yeah, it's great.
So I just, for some reason, that this hit me. April 8th, 2024.
There's nothing we can do. It's a total eclipse of the sun.
You might want to cover your eyes a little bit at some point.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to look at it
while you're singing the song.
But when the thing is completely covered by the moon, when it's an eclipse, you could look at it then.
That one moment. Yeah, sure. So anyway, again, I got ADD.
I didn't know that. And what day? April 8th,
2024. It's a Monday afternoon.
A year from now.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, man. That's why.
Dang it.
That's what I said, a year from now. It's on a Monday afternoon. I'm a planner, Pat. You know,
sure are.
Just remember things way
Probably
out.
be a cloudy day, raining like a pig.
I swear, bro.
We won't be able to see it. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet?
I will.
That'd be our luck.
You will see me on the news if it's cloudy in Dallas on April 8th, 2024. I'm so looking forward to this.
Meanwhile, we got everybody around the world mocking us. We just showed you the thing from the Saudis the other day. Mm-hmm. They did the Biden parody, Biden and Kamala. I mean, it wasn't well done, but it just shows you they just have no respect.
You got the
for
Mexican
this guy.
president calling us out on everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right. And now we have the Taliban shoving this right in our face. The Taliban has released pictures of U.S. equipment and parts left behind after the withdrawal.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job, Joe.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
Do we have that picture of all the Humvees and everything?
And they're clearly U.S. Humvees.
Look at that, dude.
Armored vehicles.
And that's just one picture.
Jeez.
That is, oof.
Hurts. They're laughing in our face.
Yeah.
And who was it that just said, it was a U.S. official that just said, he wouldn't do anything. Oh, it was Lloyd.
Austin Lloyd?
Yeah, it was Austin Lloyd. Just said, well, we got no regrets. Absolutely no regrets about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Are you kidding me? You can look at that, you can have that shown, and you can still say we have no regrets about the withdrawal?
Yeah, let's play that clip. Let's play that. Clip 8.
Here he is.
But do you have regrets about the withdrawal from Afghanistan?
I support the president's decision.
Do you have regrets about the withdrawal or how the withdrawal occurred from Afghanistan that cost the lives of 13 of our service members?
I don't have any regrets.
You don't have any regrets. Secretary Austin, it's very telling. Secretary Austin, has there ever been any accountability for anyone within the Department of Defense for the deadly, botched, and embarrassing withdrawal from Afghanistan? Any accountability?
Hey, listen, our troops evacuated 124,000 people off of that airfield.
Has anyone been held accountable? If a Navy captain grounded a ship, what happens immediately?
Typically, that captain is removed.
That captain is removed. Has anyone been held accountable for what happened in Afghanistan?
To my knowledge, no.
You don't regret it? No one's ever been held accountable? Mr. Chairman, this is why this Republican majority must provide the accountability that this administration wants to sweep under the rug with what happened in Afghanistan.
Wow. That's a Secretary of Defense.
They don't care.
With no regrets about what happened in Afghanistan. It was a travesty. It was a complete cluster thing. And they completely botched it. And they've got no regrets. Oh, okay. Congressman Matt Gaetz also asked Secretary Austin, is this Austin Lloyd too?
Austin Lloyd, yeah.
Yeah, about drag shows on military bases.
God.
Man, the things that we have to talk about right now.
Clip number 9.
Go ahead and put up the first slide. I guess my question is, how much taxpayer money should go to fund drag queen story hours on military bases?
Okay. We have to ask that question.
Drag queen story hours is not something that the department funds.
Well, wait a second. That's actually not what the record seems to suggest. You were going to fund one at Ramstein Air Force Base. That one got canceled, but that's DOD insignia. That's a drag queen story hour for children. Then also at Malmstrom Air Force Base outside of Great Falls, Montana, you had a drag queen story hour for kids. At the Joint Base Langley Eustis, you put on a drag queen story hour on a Saturday for the first ever kid-friendly diversity, equity, inclusion summer festival. And at Nellis Air Force Base, you had the Drag You Nellis on June 17th. Who funded these things, Mr. Secretary?
Listen, drag shows are not something that the Department of Defense supports or funds. So.
But wait, why are they happening on military bases? I just showed you the evidence. Why are they happening?
Hello?
I will say again. This is not something that we support or fund.
Then why are they happening?
Hosting a drag queen story hour on a military base isn't supporting the drag queen story hour?
I stand by what I just said.
But you may stand by it, but it's belied by the evidence over and over again. I mean, are you aware of the piece? Biden's military, Air Force Base in Montana holds drag show, drag queen story hour for kids in the Western Journal. Are you aware of that?
Again? I will say what I said before.
You're saying what you're saying, but I guess it just doesn't comport with the facts.
Wow.
I mean, this is our military, bro.
And in Great Falls, Montana, at Malmstrom Air Force Base, they're doing drag shows there?
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
Small town of about 70,000 people, and that's where you're choosing to... Good heavens. It's absolutely astounding what is happening right now.
You can,
I stand by. We don't support
It's a twofer.
Fund.
You can destroy our military and their children all in one fell swoop.
All at once.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here from Purian Energy. How exactly do we share a country with people like Bowman? If you can't beat somebody in a debate, just yell.
Yep.
Loudest one wins in America, apparently. Congressman Massey is a good argument against term limits. Grandma Shishi. Biden could just go and get another COVID jab. That could help his cold.
Oh, yeah, those help, I hear.
Yeah.
I've heard
they
that
do.
somewhere.
From Adrian Slade, have you noticed how all the Democrats have pivoted to saying that Republicans are working for the gun lobby because the NRA has been so diminished? Yeah. Thor Spirit, weird how the people that want to kill babies in the womb and encourage women to be childless, all of a sudden they care about children. Yeah, I know. Really ironic. And from Caffeinated Texan, honestly, the QAnon shaman was more calm and restrained than Congressman Bowman. By far. By far. And escorted by Capitol Police all over the Capitol building. But they were keeping an eye on him. That's all they were doing.
I want the shaman to run for Congress. And he'd be like, oh, look, I was just early to the party, y'all. Ta-da. I don't know where he lives.
Look, I'm back. And this time, I'm pissed. So we got some good news if we go to war. The United States is 13 years behind in ammunition production, according to the New York Times. 13 years behind. Don't worry about it. Why? Not because we're sending all our ammo to Ukraine. That's why. Isn't that great?
By design, the implosion of a nation.
See, America's last policy of this administration that allows all this to happen. Our commitment to support Ukraine against the Russian invasion appears to have rattled the stability of our domestic stockpile of missiles and munitions. This is absolutely unconscionable. It's treason.
Yeah,
treason.
We got to start using that word. Yes, it is. So many ways, too, under this administration.
The Biden administration has promised, as part of a $33 billion sent in military aid for the besieged country so far. $33 billion, my rectal cavity. Come on. We're way beyond $33 billion. I like how they break it down into these categories. It's not over $200 billion in aid.
Right.
No. We break it down into, okay, well, some of it was for this, some of it was for that, some of it was for gasoline, some of it was for energy. Okay, right. Anyway, U.S. Patriot air defense system will be sent to Ukraine, too, along with over 200,000 rounds of artillery, rockets, and tank rounds. If anything happens in the meantime, what are we supposed to do? Sorry, can you guys wait till we get our production of ammunition back up before you attack us again? Because this isn't fair. We sent all our stuff to Ukraine.
But, I mean, this is the United States of America. I'm sure nothing comes to mind of, like, an attack here on the homeland. Nothing in recent years that you might think, that's a blatant attack on our soil.
Right.
Nothing. And sadly, you know what? Sadly, a lot of Americans don't even think of anything like 9/11.
Right.
It has been just pushed out of our memories.
In fulfilling these promises, the New York Times reported the U.S. has sent Ukraine so many stockpiled Stinger missiles that it would take 13 years of production at recent capacity levels to replace them.
What are we doing?
My gosh, how is that possible? Are you kidding me? 13 years? Unless probably we retool all of our factories. We don't have that many factories anymore. Keep in mind, we ratcheted up production of military hardware in World War II, but that's when we had all kinds of factories and we could retool them. That's not the case anymore. We have a limited number of factories to pump this stuff out. And most of our factories are in China. Hey, can you guys go ahead and manufacture a bunch of munitions for us? I know you're attacking us, but it's not fair and it's not right. How do you feel good about it? How do you feel good about taking over our country when we've given all our stuff to somebody else?
At least the world is at peace.
Yeah, that's great.
Relative calm.
Right.
And so, you know.
And nobody's going to take advantage of us.
And we can tell them, if you do want to take advantage of us, could you please just pause for 13 years and then come back?
Wow. The Times added that Raytheon, the company that helps make the Javelin missile systems, said it would take 5 years at last year's production rates to replace the number of missiles sent to Ukraine in the last 10 months.
And we know how America is at its most protected during a Democratic presidency.
Oh, sure.
So
sure.
Joe Biden will probably ramp up production for sure.
Currently, the U.S. produces just over 14,000 rounds of 155 millimeter ammunition every month, and Ukrainian forces have previously fired that many rounds in the span of 48 hours.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw him waste on Pat Gray overtime. We saw him waste a lot of those bullets. You were down the hall. That's right. It was me and Hillary earlier this week. We played a clip of a Ukrainian soldier just firing off bullets to scare a mom and her child that they didn't like the way she was driving too close to the convoy.
My gosh.
I mean, this is... And how much are we sending to that army again? To that military? Over 200 billion
over 200,000 rounds of artillery, rockets, and tank rounds. 200,000 rounds. Don't worry about that. The Washington Post reported last month U.S. officials in January proposed a production increase of up to 90,000 rounds of 155 millimeter ammunition each month to keep up with the demand for Ukraine. Okay. Ammunition availability might be the single most important factor that determines the course of the war in 2023, according to U.S. defense experts Michael Kaufman and Rob Lee, adding that Ukraine will depend on international stockpiles and production for access to the ammunition it needs. And meanwhile, we don't pay a bit of attention to what this is doing to us as a country. We don't care. The Biden administration couldn't care less about any of this. Have you heard them even mention it? Hey, you know what? We're going to cut back on supplying Ukraine because we don't have it right now. Okay, and it's going to take us 13 years to get our stockpile back up to speed. Really incredible. Wow. So, I guess there are some excerpts from the 2023 National Defense Authorization Act.
Yeah, I didn't know all of these things were in there. So when I saw this in a blog, I thought, we need to talk about this. And I'm sorry, I just didn't know that this was in there. Can't keep up with everything.
A few things that are in there. All non-combat vehicles procured by the Department of Defense must be electric, biofuel.
We're screwed.
Or hydrogen.
Screwed.
From 2035 on. Okay, so they got to be powered by electricity, biofuel, or hydrogen by 2035.
Nation committing suicide in the open.
Got the establishment of a Department of Defense working group to prioritize reducing greenhouse gas emissions in Department of Defense energy supplies. Okay, that's good. That's good. You want to prioritize greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, you do.
When the military...
When your life's on the line, you just want to make sure, is it green energy that is powering my demise?
Exactly. There's a pilot program for electric vehicle charging stations on military installations. Posthumous promotion.
Oh, no. What's this one?
Wait, what? The posthumous promotion.
Oh, yeah. This is weird. I thought
Ulysses S. Grant to the rank of General of the Armies of the United States.
What am I missing here?
What? He already was.
Right.
In I don't know, 1864, right? 1864 and 65, he was the man.
And by the way, this list is from Oilfield Rando. Did a good job going through this.
No kidding. Jeez. Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe there's a technical thing. Maybe he's the general of whatever, and now we need to make sure that.
I mean, do we care? He's been dead for 130 years or whatever. A writing award program for members of the Defense Acquisition Force.
A writing award?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever.
Going to increase in the authorized number of assistant and deputy assistant secretaries of defense from 19 and 60
Yeah, see,
respectively.
That feels like court packing to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Because we're expanding, and now you got more deputies. That seems... Yeah, I don't like it.
There's going to be a study on military training near wind farms.
Good.
Okay.
It's about time.
Yeah, I like this, too. $800 million in Department of Defense assistance to Ukraine is in the bill. $50 million to support the NATO Special Operations Headquarters. Because nobody else can do that but us, right?
Wait, how much are we spending on headquarters for NATO?
$50 million.
Oh, and I'm sure everybody else is pulling their weight,
Oh,
too.
of course they are. Germany's stepping right up to the plate. $20 million for the construction and endowment of the Numu News Cultural Center.
All right, now it's... Come on.
The Numu Nui Cultural Center. Do we even know? Have you ever heard of Numu Nui? N-U-M-U.
Okay.
N-E-W-E. I've been wondering, why the hell don't we have a Numu Nui Cultural Center for the military? And we need... My figure was about $30 million, so they're spending about $10 million less than I would have authorized for this project.
Well, it takes time to get there.
Come on.
I didn't even spell it right. I don't even know. Whatever.
Mandatory recruiting policy targeting women and non-white mariners at the Merchant Marine Academy.
Oh, good. Because that's where you want to implement DEI policies.
Yes, in the military.
We don't care if you're qualified, if you know what you're doing.
If you can fight.
Yeah, if you're...
you might be 600 pounds. Welcome to the military. That'd be great.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. It was for what kind of mariners again?
Merchant Marine mariners.
Okay, but non-white, what was it?
Let's see. Where is that again?
Non-white or women?
Mandatory recruiting policy. Targeting women and non-white mariners.
Okay, women and non-white. All right, well, I can't help you with the non-white. Sorry, I was born guilty. But what if I just go up there and I'm like, hey, I'm a woman? Does that get me in? Because are they going to deny that?
I don't think so.
Our country is so...
How about $10 billion in military financing for Taiwan and $2.5 billion for the regional contingency stockpile?
Here we go. So we're going to drain our resources on two fronts then, and none of them the American front. Ukraine and Taiwan now.
Jeez. I mean...
Good stuff, right?
Yeah. Better than good.
Do you feel safer now?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Don't you?
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Did you see the thing going around about they're considering the CBO has gone ahead and made some suggestions on how we could save money as a nation. And one of the things they did is they said, hey, you know what we could do is we could cut benefits for disabled vets big time. How about that, huh? Oh, that's good. We could save, I forget how much it was, but it was so dreadful how they're saying we need to cut benefits, means test our veterans, our disabled veterans, and basically tell them, don't even worry about working, because if you go out and try to earn some money and be a productive citizen, then we're going to cut your benefits. I mean, it is grotesque, this suggestion by the CBO of taking those that have sacrificed so much and said, you know what? For every $2 you make more than this middle line, we're going to take $1 of benefits away. It's just asinine. And thankfully, it sounds like that suggestion from the CBO is not going to be accepted.
Oh, well, that's good.
We hope.
That's good.
That's what the VA secretary has said. But keep an eye on this, because that's in the budget. That was not in the budget, but that's being proposed for the upcoming budget, which would end up doing so much damage to our heroes.
Speaking of budgets and what the money we love to spend, how about the reparations for Black Californians? This is going to be fantastic when they pony this money up.
Sounds like it already.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The reparations for Black Californians, they think could hit $800 billion. That's nearly $1 trillion. You might recognize that number as 80% of $1 trillion. And that's just California reparations. So when they spread that out countrywide, and they will, I just think we could be into the, 10 trillion mark? 20 trillion? How much would this cost us? It's exciting to consider, isn't it? Residents of California, which of course was never a slave state, could possibly see the Newsom administration spend well over double the state's annual budget. Double the state's annual budget on race-based reparations. California's Reparations Task Force has underscored that doing so won't settle old debts or atone for past sins. Instead, this massive redistribution of wealth, which they actually say might be closer to and maybe exceed $1 trillion.
Unreal.
Would only amount to the beginning of a conversation.
Oh, no. That's just going to get us started?
Just the beginning. We're not done at that point. We're just starting.
It's never enough.
Never!
It's truly never
There's
enough.
nothing we can do to fix this problem.
No, and I do appreciate the tweet from Mike Davis, who was a former law clerk for Justice Gorsuch, who said, any entity, he said, House Republicans, you need to add this to the list of things we need to do. Any entity that pays any racial reparation to anyone who loses all federal funding, codify that into law. States, counties, cities, schools, contractors, grantees, anybody that's doing this reparation thing, no federal funds for you. I like that plan.
Yeah, I do too. That's not going to happen, but it would be great.
It might stop some of this insanity.
It would stop the insanity. You lose federal funds, they're not going to do that. So that would be smart, but they're not going to do it. Maybe if a Republican wins the presidency, maybe then it could happen, but this administration certainly wouldn't consider that.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, again, is why it's imperative to get rid of this guy and the whole stinking cabinet in 2024. Because if we don't, they're going to finish us off. I mean, the next administration from Joe Biden would be enough to finish us off. Can't happen. We can't allow it to happen. Oh, by all that is holy, please. Everybody who can vote should get out and do so. And encourage everybody around you, everyone you know, to please do the same. You know, as long as they're not Democrats.
Yeah, and then you'll see the James O'Keefe video and you'll see, we're screwed.
And we got that coming up in just a few minutes.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here. Dr. Spoons tweets, a lot of Americans are out here taking care of business by having their own ammunition stockpiles. Of course, I'm not one of those people, though.
No, don't leave it on a boat, though.
Clever Twitter name tweets, interesting fact, gun lobbyists spent $2.6 million in 2022. Big Pharma lobbyists spent $29.2 million. The top individual lobbying spender in 2022. Jeez.
That says a lot.
Plains Stranger tweets, since there is no accountability on what's being sent to Ukraine, how do we know the feds aren't just keeping the ammunition to themselves? How much ammo does the IRS have?
Oh, boy.
Plenty, I'm sure.
Oh.
Johnny Ringo, 13 years to replenish our military ammo. Good thing the U.S. supply chain is robust and healthy.
Oh, yeah, we're ready for anything.
Sure. Sure. And Professor Friday, it wasn't long ago, soldiers were required to report how many rounds they used during engagements.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we should ask the Ukrainians to provide some accountability.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. Today's opening day for Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's going to be fun. Some new rules changes, right?
You know what I'll be doing at noon Central Time today, watching the Atlanta Braves play the Washington Nationals. I'm ready to go.
This is a must-win game for the Braves.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
A must-win.
Or else you're out of the pennant race if you start off 0-1.
And it's too early, really, to be out of the pennant race. So you got to win it today.
Yeah, the magic number is 162 for all clubs today. I hate it when sleeves do that. A lot of new rules. And some of them are gonna take some getting used to, and some
the pitcher has to speed up a little bit, right?
Yeah, there's a pitch clock. Yeah, 15 seconds, and then it's 20 seconds. If someone is on base, you got 20 seconds.
Okay, 15 with nobody on base.
Right.
20 seconds if somebody's on.
Start your motion, yeah, and you only get 2 pickoff attempts, I think.
All right,
and I guess
because that gets really obnoxious.
Okay, well, I mean, it really
does.
benefits the runner.
It does. Yeah, right.
And
True.
now they've got
True.
bigger bases. So you'll be safe more often when you try
Bigger
to steal.
bases?
Oh, gosh. It's going to look like little honk ball or something,
man.
little 4-year-olds running around.
Oh, man.
But they don't want collisions as much, you know.
Okay.
It's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. And there's some other things. They've banned the shift.
What?
Which is stupid.
I heard that was coming. They did decide to do that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got to have...
That is asinine.
Well,
if you can't beat the shift with a bunt, you shouldn't be in Major League Baseball. You know what? Every time you get up there and they shift on you, bunt it down the third base line.
And that has happened. And the guy got on. I remember this a few years ago. And
they act like, whoa, why would you do that?
Yeah, the manager's
That's
like,
not fair.
Unspoken rule of baseball. You don't do that. Shut up.
Then don't shift.
Right. Is this not, this rule change, is this not emblematic of our
That's
nation?
Unbelievable.
It's our nation saying, well, we're not smart enough to figure it out, so I guess we'll just change the rules for everybody.
Okay, I don't want the pitcher scratching his giblets for 3.5 minutes out there on the mound.
It does happen, yeah.
But the shift thing is asinine.
Yeah. And
stop them from shifting.
So last year, Freddie Freeman.
Wow.
Miss you, Freddie. For the LA Dodgers, hurts to say, he constantly pulls the ball. Lefty pulls it to the right, and teams make a living off of the shift on him, okay? They put someone in shallow right field or whatever. Bro won a batting title. He figured it out. He won a batting title while the shift was still allowed. But teams are getting around this because they're now putting an outfielder there. They're like, okay, then we'll just move an outfielder over to shallow right. Say, we'll move our left fielder there. So instead of moving our third baseman there, we'll just put our left fielder there. I mean,
smart.
Teams are already figuring out in spring training. So it's going to be interesting to see how many of these rules last after a year.
Yeah, it will. They'll probably dump them after a year. Some of them. I mean, we'll see how it speeds up the pitcher, speeds up the game. That's what they're trying to speed up the game a little bit.
And it did have that effect in
spring training
in the minor leagues.
Oh.
You know what? I don't know what the total has been in spring training. But
the minor leagues did it last year?
Yeah,
did
and I think they shaved 20-something minutes off of games or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't protest too much because I have to go to bed early.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
it's not going to hurt me to go to bed earlier.
Well, it is really boring when the pitcher's on the mound and, again, he's scratching his giblets. He's pulling the wedgie out of his rectum. He walks around and spits. And then he picks up some dirt.
Yeah.
And then he's rubbing the ball. And then he spits on the ball.
And then he throws the ball to the umpire because he wants a new one.
Yeah.
He got too much spit on this. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. All the fun starts today, Major League Baseball. And,
should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, if nothing else.
Man, it's time again for baseball.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Just amazing. And then not this weekend, but next weekend is Easter already. So I'm pretty sure anyway, right?
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's April 9th.
April 9th. Yeah. So.
And then, of course, you got the Masters coming up, which I know you watch.
Oh,
April
man, the Masters.
April 6th through 9th.
Don't even get me started on the Masters golf tournament.
Dude,
I'm all over it.
No, you know what?
All over.
No, I'm taking a stand.
Are you?
We're watching the Masters together this year. I'm going to make you like the Masters.
I'm
coming to your house.
I seriously doubt
I
that.
know how to get there. There actually is a road. Dirty little secret. I'm going to knock on the door until you let me in and watch the Masters on the big screen, mostly because I just want to see the Masters on the big screen.
Yeah, I wish that could happen, but it just can't.
It can't?
Keith, no.
It hurts.
It can't. They've torn up the road between us that you
that road that I thought was there is
it's
gone now?
It's gone.
I never took advantage of it.
Tore it up.
I saw him paving and I was like, I'm waiting for the right moment, and now it's gone.
Now it's gone. You waited too long. It's too bad. It's too bad, too. That would have been fun to watch the Masters together. But
Yeah.
Can't do it now. It was another long day for the Interior Secretary yesterday.
She's having fun up there on Capitol Hill.
So many people are having fun on Capitol Hill right now. And here's the Interior Secretary's fun.
Okay.
Do you think it is better for our country to get oil and gas from federal lands in this country with our environmental standards, or is it better to get it from places like Venezuela, Russia, Middle East, and other places with vastly inferior environmental standards? Where would you prefer that oil and gas come from?
Senator, what I can say is that President Biden is dedicated and committed to making sure that we have an energy independent nation.
What?
Well,
no.
But the response to my question, where would you prefer to get that oil and gas?
As I mentioned many times, the oil production in this country is up on federal lands. We are doing, we're moving those permits through. We're doing our jobs, and I appreciate the question.
Well, but you do acknowledge that you have restricted access as far as production on federal lands, and you have raised royalty rates. Do you at least acknowledge that?
We are working to make sure that the work on our public lands is balanced, and We care deeply about the energy future of this country.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So long as it doesn't, we care deeply about it. So long as it doesn't include fossil fuels, but as long as it's solar and wind or pixie dust or whatever, then we really care about our energy in this country.
Yeah. So if your goal is energy independence, right? Then can't you just answer that question when he says, "Do you prefer it from Venezuela or China?" That should be an easy answer then.
Should be.
And can we revisit the last 10 seconds of that clip? I just noticed, and I don't know how long it was going on, so let's see if 10 seconds is far enough back. Watch dude in the background with his eyebrows here. Let's play this, please, Kayla. Watch this guy in the white hair. Just watch his eyebrows. Nothing else here. I just caught the last second of it, so whoa. Got a lot going. Whoa, 4, 5, 6. 6 eyebrow flexes. What was happening there?
I don't know. He's got a little habit apparently.
Okay.
That
all right.
Yeah. And perhaps didn't know that he was on camera right then.
You picked a bad seat, bro.
Yeah, he did. That's unfortunate.
Sorry. Okay. Continue. I'm sorry. It just
man. All right. James O'Keefe kicked out of his own company, kicked out of Project Veritas. So he started a new company. It's O'Keefe Media Group.
OMG. Yeah, and the way he set this video up is he was looking at the anomalies in giving to federal campaigns. And he's like, my gosh, what is happening? Like, some people are giving $200,000 from this address. So it's a bunch of individual donations, but they're all coming from the same person at the same address. So he's going door to door, which, by the way, he also mentions somewhere, I think on his Twitter account, that they're sending out cameras and stuff to get more citizen journalists. So you could, I think, get from him, if you just ask or something, get a microphone and a camera, and go around and do this stuff yourself. But he's going to these addresses to say, hey, did you give $200,000 in donations to Operation, what is it, Blue? He talks about it here.
All right.
But this is, he's on to something.
You did donate to Act Blue, right?
Act Blue, yeah. Pause it for a second. If you don't know, Act Blue is a huge progressive Democrat fund, slush fund, essentially. It's a political action fund. And they have, last I heard, something like $2 billion in that fund.
And you've got to ask yourself, where really does this money come from?
Right.
Because he's going to these individuals.
And he is asking that question.
Well, he's going to these individuals who are clearly donors.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
But their names and their addresses, as the video will show you, are being used here. And it's like, okay, well then where did that money... It's getting laundered through their names and addresses. What foreign country is influencing our elections? You thought we had it figured out for 2024 with ballot harvesting, and Trump is sounding the alarm on that. And, Republicans are always reacting to how Democrats are stealing things. This is insane.
All right, let's see this.
You did donate to ActBlue, right?
Yes, once in a while, yes.
Did you donate 1,009 times?
I don't know. I mean, I
don't know.
Once in a while I donate $5 or so dollars or something like that during election year.
What about $18,850?
I doubt that.
Not that many donations.
No, I don't think so.
What the Federal Election Commission indicates that much money was donated to ActBlue and Biden for president.
I wish I could have donated $18,000 to Biden's presidency.
How much did you donate?
I don't know.
Order of magnitude.
I like I said, I donate $5 once in a while because I have various charities I like to give to.
Do you know people are using your address?
I don't think so.
So, interestingly enough, she said she donates something like $5 a month. But we're getting kind of a pattern of reactions here as we do this. The woman was a very nice lady. She talked to us. So, interestingly enough, it's even a two-party consent state like Maryland, with the camera out in the open, people are still being honest. This is sort of new to me. Usually we use the covert cameras, but maybe the camera's a truth serum.
But does it sound about right that there's been 18,000 contributions?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not.
In the amount of like $170,000?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not you doing that?
No, it's not.
But does the frequency ring a bell that you're donating that much every like 10 times a day sometimes?
No.
10 times a day. Do you think someone is maybe fraudulently debiting your accounts or something?
They must be. ActBlue is the one I use for political donations. And I do not make that kind of political donations.
Wow. Right. So right here, it's 18,672 different contributions that total an amount of $170,000.221.
No.
So I'm about to call Garland Riggs. He's the excessive small amount donor. 31,073 individual contributions were made.
Gosh.
Under his address. He's 80 years old. He lives on the outskirts of D.C. So many people across the country, I'm going to call him and see if I can make a contribution in his name and see how he responds. He's either a victim of some type of conspiracy or he's a culprit himself. A lot of these phone numbers are available on white pages, on Google,
he walks
and other
through
apps where you can find
how to do this. Just be a citizen journalist every step of the way.
Hey there, Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
James O'Keefe, just asking about those contributions we spoke on the phone. Have you donated to ActBlue in the past?
I don't believe so.
You're listed as someone who's given over 31,000 individual contributions to various causes for a total of $230,000 using your name in this address.
No, that's not us.
That's not you?
No.
Have you ever donated to ActBlue? Or?
I think my wife has, but nowhere near.
Are you aware that people are using your name?
No.
Have you donated to ActBlue in the past?
I don't believe so.
You're listed as someone who's given over 31,000 individual contributions to various causes for a total of $230,000 using your name in this address. How much did you donate to ActBlue?
It's his wife.
So would you say 1,000 a year?
Probably not 1,000.
Not 1,000?
Not more than
Would the FEC records say that you've given $230,000?
No.
It appears that someone else may be committing a crime using your address. I'll email you that information, the FEC records.
And do you think you can find at least some of these individuals?
That's what I do, sir.
So there we go. There's a lot more to that video.
That
Check that out.
Is incredible. Wow. What a scam they've got going on.
Who has really hijacked our elections? Through groups like ActBlue.
Jeez.
Boy, just get out and vote, y'all, because, every vote counts, right?
All right. Let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. This is my Patriot Supply, actually. Anybody who thinks they won't need emergency food ever, You're not paying attention. Every day the headlines get worse and worse. And who knows whether the unthinkable is next or not. But it pays to be prepared. That's why I seriously recommend that you stock up on emergency food right away. You never know when the next shoe will drop. And when it does, emergency food will be hard to find. The supply chain is vulnerable. We've seen that over and over and over lately. I mean, you go into the grocery store and some of the shelves are just absolutely empty, whether it's, baby formula, whether it's milk, whether it's bread, whatever it is. Sometimes it's just not there. And if you're not prepared for when there's a wider shortage, then you're going to be sorry. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. Check out our popular 3-month emergency food kit. Right now, you'll save $200 per kit. So this is really the time to do it. Get a kit per member of your family so that nobody in your family goes hungry and that you're set if something goes wrong for 3 months. Now, usually after 3 months, hopefully order is restored. Maybe the supply chain is back in operation, but it may not be. And you might want to consider maybe stocking up for even a longer term. Like I have a 4-year supply, a year supply for 4 people. And if you can do that, then please do it. Maybe you want to save up for that. Maybe you want to plan for that. But in the meantime, this 3-month kit can get you through most situations. Each kit gives you a wide variety of delicious breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, snacks, provides over 2,000 calories a day. Act now and claim your $200 savings per kit. You'll sleep better. Get this off your plate. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. And you'll also get free shipping as well. mypatriotsupply.com. Do it now before it's too late.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Just a quick reminder, you can check us out on all the socials. Of course, youtube.com/Pat Gray, rumble.com/Pat Gray Unleashed. Too bad these aren't consistent. It'd be a little easier.
Yeah, I think in case of the YouTube one, they didn't even give us a choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Instagram.com/Pat Unleashed and Facebook.com/Pat Unleashed. So go online and find us there. It's not an actual line that we're on. So, Judy, just know that there's not really a line.
She might have been confused looking for the
she might have
line.
been.
What's this
She might have
line
been.
Pat keeps telling me to get on?
Right.
Judy.
So,
bless her heart. What day was that? That was March. In case people want to go back and watch that. March 1st, 2019? March 1st, 2020? I don't know.
I bet 2019. I don't think the pandemic had started yet.
Well, technically hadn't started. Well, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we knew about it, though.
Yeah. So I think you're right. March 1st, probably.
2019.
Go check it.
All right.
The Judy Show.
Yes. We got some tweets here. Fake Tyler Morgan, the posthumous promotion of Grant, gave him the same official rank as George Washington and John J. Blackjack Pershing, making him only the 3rd general to hold that rank.
I knew someone would know this. Good job, Tyler.
But
Thank
he's
you.
dead. So does he care now? I don't know. I don't know. Little late on that. Don Hendricks 7 tweets, a ball game being 20 minutes shorter doesn't make me want to drive 2 hours to see the Rays baseball, as we've done multiple times for years.
All right. Well, sorry.
From Hogasm, Keith gets to bed early just in time for insomnia.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good news, though. I actually slept last night.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Good.
A full 6 hours.
Nice. I'm a lickin' butter. I'd like to play high-stakes poker with Eyebrow Man.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, look. I got a great hand here. I think he's trying to stay awake or something.
Oh, boy.
You got a good hand there. Ooh.
There's something really disturbing going on in Colorado.
Oh, no.
Apparently, we're spending some money, and it, I'm sure not enough. But rare female lizards that reside around Colorado's Fort Carson Army Base, they're stress eating to cope with military aircraft flyover noise, according to a new study that, again, we're not spending enough on, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
These uncommon reptiles, called Colorado checkered whiptails, are engaging in compensatory feeding behaviors when low-flying Apache, Chinook, and Black Hawk helicopters, and sometimes F-16 fighter jets, swoop over their habitat. According to the study that they published in Frontiers in Amphibian and Reptile Science. I get that every year with the swimsuit issue.
Oh.
But I wait for the swimsuit issue.
There's nothing like a hot gecko in a bikini.
Oh, man.
Am I
telling
right?
you. Yeah, you're right. Lizards tend to have excellent hearing and are sensitive to much lower frequencies than humans are.
Okay.
So.
I can't. Who thought to study this?
So stupid. Who cares? So what? The lizards are stress eating.
Uh-huh.
And they're lizards.
So find a place that's
Don't
not
worry about it.
An Air Force base and go there.
During the flyover days, noise readings at ground level ranged from 33.9 to 112.2 decibels. Oh my gosh. The sound level of an orchestra or a power saw. And that throws them into a stress-eating tizzy. Oh, no. The researchers observed the behavior of 82 lizards and then brought them in for weight measurements and blood tests. They did ultrasound tests on them to determine whether they're pregnant and the quantity and size of developing eggs.
Your tax dollars at work.
What a country. I mean, come on. Seriously?
We're going to start organizing bombing raids around where endangered species are. No question.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is interesting. The NHL may cancel the LGBT Pride Nights because a growing number of players are refusing to wear rainbow gear.
Hate.
What haters? Oh, my God.
I know.
Why the mongering and hate from these mongers of hatred? Why? Wait, you don't want to promote the rainbow jerseys? That's...
Boy, look at that. I mean, those are gay logos for sure.
Why are you gay?
In response to an increasing number of players engaging in silent protests against the NHL's Pride Night, a new report claims the league is reevaluating the events, which may lead to them being canceled. Currently, all of the teams in the NHL, all of them, what is that, 29, 30?
30, I believe.
30?
Yeah, maybe 32. What are we
all
up
of
to?
them hold Pride Nights. However, some now do so without the themed jerseys, as the events are planned by the individual teams, not the league. Now, why has everybody jumped on that bandwagon? Do they celebrate any other sexual preference during the course of the year? Just curious. Like, do you have a heterosexual Pride Night? Do you? Why? Jeez. Do you have a night where you celebrate people who just pleasure themselves? I don't think so. But why are these guys forced into promoting LGBTQ interests? Why? Do they have to be proud of it as well? Does everybody have to get on board? And of course the answer is yes. Everybody does have to get on board. And we all have to promote. It's not enough to tolerate, which we've done forever. We tolerate. We don't bother them. We now have to accommodate. Now we embrace. Now we embrace their lifestyle and we promote their lifestyle, which is the goal. It's been the goal of the radicals the entire time. League Commissioner Gary Bettman said in an interview with CTV News, when asked about the players that have refused to wear Pride-themed jerseys this season, he said, "This is the first time we've experienced that, and I think it's something that we're going to have to evaluate in the offseason." Citing religious beliefs, several players have declined to participate in the pregame warm-ups. They shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to do this. There's no reason for a Christian NHL player or anybody else to have to put on a Pride jersey and go out and promote LGBTQ lifestyles. You don't have to do that. And if you don't do it, it doesn't mean you hate. Bettman told the outlet this is one issue where players, for a variety of reasons, may not feel comfortable wearing the uniform as a form of endorsement. Thank you. At least the commissioner apparently gets it. He continued, but I think that's become more of a distraction now because the substance of what our teams and we have been doing and stand for is really being pushed to the side for what is a handful of players basically have made personal decisions, and you have to respect that as well.
Thank you.
Huh. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you know, the bottom line in everything in big business, which professional sports is obviously a big business, is follow the money. You know, the money will dictate. And if they're seeing some sort of, repercussions there from the fan base, then they're more apt to respond. And along those lines, I'm looking for it here. Nope, that's not it. I saw a thing where here it is. This is great. Listen to this. More fans, this is just a fun fact with sports, more fans tuned in to watch Iowa beat Louisville in the women's NCAA tournament than any NBA game on ESPN this season. That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
A women's basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the playoffs and everything, but that would be better than more watched than the NBA? Any NBA game?
Interesting.
So NBA, go broke, am I right? And I think the NHL is seeing that writing on the wall. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, maybe we pull it back just a little bit here.
Meanwhile, Posey Parker, she's a woman from Britain who sticks up for women in the face of the extreme trans activists. And over the weekend, she was going to give a pro-woman speech in New Zealand, right? It was in New Zealand.
And then, of course, the trans mob surrounded the event. Yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, there were hundreds, if not thousands of people around her. It was amazing.
But her side hates.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
Just so you know.
Right. Exactly.
To stick up for women, that's hatred now.
And this is what happened when the angry mob surrounded her.
Comes from the back there and dumps tomato soup all over her. And
oh, jeez.
You can't have a conversation. I'm so tired of hearing them say, let's have a conversation. That's the last thing they want.
Right.
Vile.
Man. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is in Africa this week, and she's excited for the future of Africa.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I am too, but she's there.
She's got away with
about
words,
so she really does.
This kind of stuff too. That's good.
I'm very excited about the future of Africa. I'm very excited about the impact of the future of Africa on the rest of the world, including the United States of America.
He's good.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Right?
That's powerful.
Your move to be excited now, right?
Last week, I was pretty excited about her word salad honoring women at Women's History Month. Check this out, too, because she's so good.
So during Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history, who saw what could be unburdened by what had been.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Don't be ridiculous. Where did you get that, Pat? Why would you try to finish her sentence?
With history?
Let the woman finish her deep thoughts. Her Veep thoughts, as Stu Does America refers to them.
She never fails to delight, does she?
So why were they honoring women? You're not allowed to do that anymore.
I don't know. That was weird that they were celebrating women at the White House.
I hope no one else at the White House was celebrating women.
Yeah, somebody else was.
Who?
Joe Biden, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden.
Doctor, thank you.
There are those who continue to ask our daughters to shrink. Those
You.
who are pulling away
What?
the hard-won progress that we've made,
Your
that our
administration.
mothers made, and their mothers made before them. We find ourselves refighting battles we thought we had won a long time ago.
The battle to kill babies.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Justice, freedom for all. These are the flames we must feed with our voices and our vigilance. Every little girl must know that she belongs in all places of power, that her boldness is beautiful, that her body is her own, that her future can be anything
Unless it's
she
the
wants
vaccine, of course, that her body's not her own. We insist that she inject something into it, whether she likes it or not.
These people, they have changed the definition of feminism to being pro-abortion. That's all feminism is to them anymore.
Right.
And for her to stand up there, do they listen to the words that they even say? Who writes this stuff for them to read? Where she says, well, we're having to fight battles we thought we already won. No, you've actually created new battlefronts. You're allowing men into women's spaces across the board. They don't even listen to what comes out of their freaking mouths.
And how is it that they don't give a rat's ass about the women who would be born, the females who would grow into women who are being aborted by the millions?
Amen.
And they don't care at all. They couldn't care less about that. And obviously, she doesn't believe what she told women in that clip. As a reminder, earlier this month, she gave a women's award to a man who dresses like a woman and, identifies as a woman. But here she is giving an award to a man.
In Argentina, Alba Ruada is a transgender woman who was kicked out of classrooms, barred for sitting for exams, refused job opportunities, subjected to violence, and rejected by her family. But in the face of these challenges, she worked to end violence and discrimination against the LGBTQI+ community.
That's a man, baby. Oh, God. And then she goes and does the event for women and says,
Yeah.
Having to fight battles,
Right. And we thought we already won.
Same person, Joe Biden. I got this list, Pat, of women who have been, or men, excuse me, that have been given Women of the Year awards. You ready for this? Rachel Levine.
Jeez.
Caitlyn Jenner, although she actually transitioned. That is, she's a woman now. I don't know some of these people. Who's Laverne Cox?
Did she change her chromosomes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
No,
All right.
not
So
her.
if she changed her chromosomes, you're right. She's a woman.
She went to the chromosome store.
Yeah, I'd like to change my chromosomes, please.
Yeah. By the way, we actually have video coming up in overtime.
Yeah.
Of a woman who transitioned to a man with warnings for children that are considering the same. But here's more men who have been given Women of the Year awards. MJ Rodriguez, Laurel Hubbard. I don't know a lot of these, but there's just it goes on and on. Ebony Harper. Oh yeah, that was the the power lift. Remember that? Yeah. Ebony Harper, Cecilia Chung, Leah Thomas.
Jeez, man.
Anyway, it's just never ending, and it's so sad. It
is sad.
And then you try to speak out on
It is
behalf
sad.
of women, like the lady in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And you get attacked. Are you familiar with the word TERF? T-E-R-F, the phrase, the way to describe? That is an acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. First recorded in 2008. The term was originally used to distinguish transgender inclusive feminists from a group of radical feminists. In other words, if you're a feminist, but you don't think dudes belong in women's spaces, you're a TERF.
Okay, so that's like J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
Is a TERF.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure she's really bummed about that.
Yeah.
She entered $1.9 billion or whatever it is she's worth. She's really.
Oh no.
Really
Call me
depressed
names,
about
please.
that. Yeah.
Did you see that the fake governor of Arizona, Katie Hobbs, a member of her staff, tweeted out, and I don't know where they're imagining this hatred, like we've got pitchforks and tiki torches and we're hunting down trans people. But did you see what she tweeted out the other day after the shooting in Nashville?
No.
Us when we see transphobes. So clearly, illustrating violence is okay against people that disagree with you trying to butcher kids. So anyway,
unreal.
She was let go, amazingly enough.
Wow.
So there you go.
This is kind of interesting. The importance of traditional American values has obviously plummeted across the U.S. according to a new poll, as you may well imagine. Sorry.
Pat uses his cell phone now, y'all. Breaking news. He actually uses it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal. And I forgot to turn it off, but I have to keep it with me because, it's got it has my diabetes information.
Yeah.
That is sent to it by this thing on my arm.
So that's not a danger warning ring, right?
No,
that was an actual
phone call. Just phone. The phone being a phone, which is weird. Wait, you can do phone calls on your phone? Yeah.
Can you really?
You can.
Wait, that's a thing?
You can. It is a thing.
Oh, okay.
It's not weird.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The importance, though, as I was saying, of traditional American values has plummeted in the U.S. in recent decades. This is a poll from the Wall Street Journal. The Monday poll questioned U.S. residents about the importance of patriotism, religious faith, having children, and other traditional U.S. metrics. The poll found that just 39% of Americans say their religious faith is very important to them. 39%.
Wow.
And 38% say patriotism is very important. Jeez. Wall Street Journal compared those numbers to the first time it ran the poll in 1998 when 62% of Americans said religion was important to them. 70% said patriotism was very important. So for religion, it went from 62 to 39. And for patriotism, 70 to 38. Just since 1998.
Wow.
That's 25 years. Wow. Meanwhile, a plurality of respondents reported that the U.S. has not gone far enough in promoting equality between men and women. Huh, really? Accepting people who are gay, lesbian, or bisexual, or promoting racial and ethnic diversity in business and university. We haven't gone far enough on those things? Jeez, how far do you want to go? Seriously. I'm telling you, they're not going to be happy until we're all members of the LGBTQIA2 plus community. If you fit into one of those letters, one of the alphabet letters, then you've gone far enough. But not until then.
And you got, what, how many options to choose from?
Well, quite a few. Yeah, you can be lesbian,
400,
gay, bi, LGBT,
but there's a lot under
queer,
the plus.
Questioning. You can be intersex. You can be two-spirit.
Two-spirit.
I mean, there's a lot of things you could do, but just pick one and do it, and then it'll be okay. A large plurality of respondents reported that American society has already gone too far in accommodating people who are transgender, with 43%.
The haters.
Saying that's the case. 43%. Wow. Less than 25% say the U.S. has gotten the issue about right. And 33% say society needs to accommodate transgender people more. Again, how can you do more? Seriously. I mean, they run the place now. Transgenders run this country.
I mean, that's what gets you into the Biden administration.
Yep. Roughly 50% of respondents had a very or somewhat unfavorable view of being asked to use transgender pronouns, while just 18% had a favorable view. Huh. Well, see, we got to change on that. 32% said they were neutral on the issue. 32% don't care about your gender pronouns. I'm okay, whatever, I don't care. One way or the other, I'll just do it or I won't.
Sorry to report this, but we have breaking news. It's you have not been invited to the Glenn Beck radio program yet again.
Wow, this is so it was 5 last week, and then
this is 6, and then we had a couple more days this week. We haven't updated as well, so I think we're up to 9.
We're up to 4. We're up to 9 days. Pat Gray held hostage. Day 9.
Okay, well,
holy cow,
Glenn Beck, we don't appreciate that, and you are on notice.
I don't know what that's going to do to him, but he's on notice. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. By the way, U.S. Marshals, can you believe this? Were told not to arrest Supreme Court justice protesters when everybody was, crowding around the Supreme Court justices' homes. And so the marshals were down there to protect the justices, but they were told, hey, avoid arresting anybody who's protesting. Why? They were supposed to not arrest anybody unless it was absolutely necessary. And I think it was absolutely necessary in one case, right? Where the guy...
At least,
where the guy was going to kill one of the Supreme Court justices. That's what his intent was. Jeez.
So, hold on. You can't arrest protesters when they're at someone's house with their family and their kids. You say, hey, this is you should say, right? This is a private residence. This is no place for this nonsense. Go to a public building. But when you go to a public building, and if you're just merely on the grounds, that's going to be prison time for you, January 6th.
It's crazy.
Which, by the way, yesterday, Merrick Garland was asked, hey, what about the right to a speedy trial? Oh, that's for the lawyers to figure out. That's for the lawyers of those that we've basically are languishing in prison years later. They need to figure it out and get evidence, and when they're comfortable with. I mean, shut up. It just wasn't even worth pulling the audio.
Yeah. Well, that's how this administration responds to everything.
Yep. Somebody else's problem.
KJP was asked yesterday if Biden supports gun confiscation. Okay, so because he supports the gun ban, right? No. A ban on assault rifles that looks so scary because they have the metal frames and then not the wooden ones that you would see in a hunting rifle. So the metal frame changes everything. Am
I gonna be sad after I hear this clip?
No, I don't think so. I think you'll think, well, it's just like every day. Here's what she had to say.
Not just banning the sale and manufacture of semi-automatic weapons, but further than that, confiscation.
Let me just be very clear. What we're talking about,
Let her be very, very clear.
AR-15s, these assault weapons ban, they are weapons of war, and they should not be on the streets across the country, in our communities. They should not be in schools. They should not be in grocery stores. They should not be in churches.
Is he trying to confiscate them then?
And he has done more than any other president the first 2 years on an executive order. And as you know, we all know how government works. There's only so much that he can do. And so now it's time for Congress to do the work. And he's happy to sign. Once that happens, he's happy to sign that legislation that says,
happy
we're going to remove assault weapons. We're going to have an assault weapons ban.
Okay. Does that sound like the answer is yes, I think, on confiscation. I think they're going to try to take the guns from us. I think they'll try to take assault weapons right out of our homes. And that won't go well. That will not go well in this country.
And they know it.
And they know it.
And they love that prospect.
Well, yeah, look how much they've used January 6th, where people broke a few windows. And they've gone crazy nuts for 2 years on that. If you try to confiscate and something happens, they're going to love that.
Do we know?
It's going to be the best thing that ever happened to them.
Not to sidetrack too much here, but do we know the Antifa-dressed individuals that broke the windows at the Capitol? Do we know if they're languishing in a federal prison right now in D.C.?
I think we know they're not. Yeah, I think we do know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But what she did make very, very clear was that that these assault rifles are AR-15s are weapons of war.
Weapons of war, yeah.
Weapons of war.
You get bonus points on the employee tote board at the White House if you mix in that phrase during the debate.
You do. You really do.
Yeah, so if you can mix in assault weapons, weapons of war, high capacity.
Yeah.
There's buzzwords, phrases, and there's a chart. I'm convinced in the basement of the White House, there's a chart where, hey, look, I'm ahead of Kirby, ha, ha, ha. And Kirby's like, hey, I didn't get to do a press conference today, KJP, not fair. And so they're competing. And at the end of the month, they're trying to earn Employee of the Month for the Biden administration. depending on how many buzzwords they mix into the conversation.
Okay, well, great. All right. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Don't forget, Easter's just around the corner now, and you can still order your Kexi cookies for Easter and get them in time. Nice. KEKSIA.com. Kexi.com. We got the coconut egg nest now. Delicious. Really, really good.
That's a fun name.
We have the new carrot cake bar. Oh, people are absolutely loving that. So while supplies last.
I'll say that's not as creative a name as the coconut nest egg.
Perhaps not. Perhaps not. But this is your chance to get them ordered and get them in time for Easter. So Kexi.com. We will be back on Overtime coming up. That'll be posted at 11 Central Time, as always. And then we'll be back here tomorrow on Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll see you then.